I'm gonna be honest, I've heard of this movie, but I also, I like avoiding trailers nowadays. So I have not seen any trailer, promotional material, or really knew anything about this movie, except for, unfortunately, some spoilers I got on TikTok. So, it was a while ago, though, like a few months ago. I don't know if they were trying to make you think that she wasn't a android. I mean, with this poster, I assume it's not supposed to be a secret. And we find out decently early on that she's an android. It's probably only 15, 20 minutes in. There is a little another mini plot twist with another character, Patrick, being an android. Some people say this movie's really unique with its premise. I can somewhat agree. Um, so we follow this boyfriend who immediately he's a red flag. Like, I already knew he was a bad person. Unfortunately, from some of the spoilers, I had seen like a scene of him making her put her hand on fire. He's not a great guy. Like, I didn't watch the whole scene, but I got a little bit of that spoiled for me. Um, so he like he it's just a red flag for me. The GPS doesn't really show up, and he's like makes an excuse for it. I don't know if that was supposed to be a red flag, but her not knowing where they're going is a red flag to me. Another one is she gets nervous that his friends won't like her, and um, he cusses at her. Like, he's not like extremely rude, but it is rude nonetheless. Like, he's like, we've been planning this trip for months, and now 2 feet away from the fucking door, you're nervous. And I'm like, whoa, dude. This dude, he's a fucking piece of shit pretty immediately. So I don't know if you were supposed to actually believe that he might have been a good person. Probably not, because the movie does start off with, um, you know, the two happiest days of my life were the day I met Josh and the day I killed him. So yeah, I we get another thing established that she's just like this android that he can do whatever he wants with, and he establishes a love link of a day they met, a false memory, an outline. And the outline is them meeting in a grocery store. He tries to pick up an orange, and then all the oranges fall on the floor. And that is the day she fell in love with him. I do not think that is believable. Not because of the android, but because of him. We get established that this dude is an insecure, toxic masculinity, big piece of shit. There's no other way to say it. He's a big piece of shit. And insecure dudes like him like to make themselves seem cooler than they actually are. So why would he fucking... He gets to pick whatever, love link he wants. Like, there's so many different options. Why would he pick an option that makes him look like a fool? I don't get it. Now, with his friend, I can totally see why. Eli has a bit of a more silly one where, Patrick meets him by stepping on his tail in his dinosaur costume, and he takes the mask off, and then they go and dance together. Why the fuck does this fucking loser have this? It's very weird to me personally. Apparently they had planned this trip to kill this guy Sergey. They excuse it because Sergey is this mobster piece of shit, and it turns out he's not. She had been lying. She doesn't think it's enough that he's like a sexist piece of shit that treats her like trash, and he forces her to have sex when he wants, eat when he wants, and all these other things. Like, he's clearly not a good dude, but she kind of feels bad about killing him for it. I think that's kind of weird. Also, the fact that he's a fucking rapist. I don't care that she's an android. He tries to rape her. She tells him no. And they just don't ever talk about that again. They never say what it is, which I didn't like that. This isn't me trying to cancel the directors of the movie or whatever. I don't like the fact that they don't say it's rape. Sergey comes on to her. She says no. He keeps trying to touch her. She says no. She tries to tell him, please stop. He has a little struggle with her. We get to see more of it later in a flashback. I don't know why they didn't show the scene first. I think it's a weird filming choice, in my opinion. I don't think it ruins the movie, but a weird filming choice to show the scene after it happens. Like, they show her outside, he's being weird with her, then they cut to her being inside with blood on her face, then they immediately cut back to her killing him. Why not just film it in order? So, he tries to choke and kill her, and she ends up defending herself from a dude trying to rape her. Not one of the friends says it's rape. Not one of them. Not even once. They talk about it very often, and every time they talk about Sergey and they mention bad things he's done, they never say the fact that he tried to rape her. I get she's an android. It was rape regardless. It's weird. Is it not? Am I overreacting? I don't think I am. Anyways, they tie her to a chair. He tells her to go to sleep, revealing that she's an android. He wakes her up and he tells her there's no easy way to say this, but you're an android, and this, and fucking stupid Cat walks in. I don't like Cat. She was a very mean person. I don't like the boyfriend either. The boyfriend character, who is Dennis Quaid's son. I can't think of his name. All I can think of is Richie Kirsch from Scream. And I know he was in The Boys too, where he plays Huey Campbell. I don't know why I can't think of his name. It's going to be something Quaid. I'm not going to look it up though. And I don't even remember what his name was in this movie. But I'll look that up. His name was Josh. I didn't even look at his name. I could have right there. I just realized that. I could have looked at his real name. I didn't. His name was Josh in the movie. Josh is a piece of shit. He fucking ends up telling her that, she's an android. Kat comes in and is like, we're going to deprogram you, which obviously worries her. She breaks free from the chair and she runs off. She also punches Josh in the throat. Very satisfying. And tells Kat, hey, if he's hurt, you're going to have to take him to the hospital. And says, a bunch of other stuff. Then it is revealed that she had been modded to be more aggressive. Apparently aggression is not a thing at all. So androids can't defend themselves, which is crazy. They also can't lie, which I guess makes sense. But that can't be modded because that leads to some issues throughout the movie. They do creative things to get out of those issues. But you can't mod them to not, to be able to lie or something. I guess maybe that's like a way more complex code thing. But whatever. She's in the forest. Eli and Patrick are like, fuck it, we'll go home and have sex. Patrick ends up admitting that he knows he's a robot. He's pieced it together over the years, but he doesn't care. He loves Eli. And Eli ends up, hearing her phone ring, and he goes after Iris, and even though he said he didn't care, he wanted to go home, he's going after Iris now. They're fighting. He says some corny line about how, I'm an ally, and then he gets shot in the gut and dies. Now, Patrick is inconsolable. He's lost his programming, basically. Like, the only reason he's alive is because of, Eli, technically. His whole purpose is to make this guy happy, and now he's dead. That leads to bigger questions for me. What happens to these androids if people pay for these androids for their entire life, which I assume some people do. Because, there's got to be some rich asshole that's really lonely, so he decides to buy an android and, not tell it that it's an android, which is something that's established in the movie. And, just like he eventually dies of old age and the android just doesn't age or something. And the android just doesn't question that. Or would they eventually have to tell him? What if the android, the android probably gets shut down if their partner dies. It just leads to a lot of questions. But that's just me. Not a flaw of the movie, I guess. Just a personal question that I have. She eventually uses Josh's car to try and escape. But she can't escape at first because it's voice activated. So something that was established earlier is she can change her voice. So she changes her voice to, sound like Josh, and she escapes for a little bit. But eventually the car stops, and it's because Josh had got onto Sergei's phone and reported it stolen. Don't know why. Kat is still alive at this point. Why he couldn't use Kat's phone. Another thing that I think probably isn't established. Do androids not have phones or something? Because that makes me question it. Does Patrick not have a phone? Does Iris not have a phone? Do they not question that they don't have a phone when everybody else seems to have one? It's whatever. But yeah, that's a question I have. So yeah, he gets into Sergei's phone and he reports it stolen. Cop comes across her. Since she can't lie, she changes her language to German because I guess she made a good guess that this guy wouldn't be able to speak German. And, he can't. So she's speaking in German. He decides to go drop her back off at Sergei's place because apparently he knows Sergei. But at this point, Josh has reprogrammed Patrick to be aggressive and go hunt her down and bring her back. And he kills the cop, gets in the cop car, and takes the car back to Josh. I do think that this actually is something I can criticize the movie for. They established that the reason the car stops is because it's been reported stolen. So, are you telling me that this cop can't check his records? Is he that bad of a cop to not see that this car has recently been reported stolen? He basically arrests her just because she's nervous. Yeah, he does look in the car. There's blood on the knife. But that could be from anything. She could, be a meat eater or something and have been recently cutting a deer open or something. I don't know. He basically arrests her just because she's nervous. I guess that's a very accurate portrayal of a cop. Because a lot of cops are pieces of shit. Most cops. All cops. Just whatever. So, yeah, Kat ends up wanting to leave with her half of the money. Josh is kind of pissed about it for some reason and doesn't want her to leave. And tells Patrick to stop her. Patrick takes that as kill her. He just stabs her in the back. And Josh tries to apologize. And Kat's like, just shut the fuck up. And I'm on Kat's side for this. And she just goes and bleeds out on the couch. Kat is dead now. Kind of an anticlimactic death, if you ask me. I was surprised that she got stabbed in the back, because that wasn't something I got spoiled. I didn't know Eli was going to die either. The only thing I really got spoiled were like the android stuff, and the scene with the candle. Like, there wasn't that much I got spoiled. There was a little bit. And, he decides to have a creepy dinner and burns her hand, and he's playing along with Patrick because he reprogrammed Patrick, so now Patrick and him think he's dating. The chemistry just isn't there. We already shown that, they do say it's over years, but they've shown that Patrick can be smart. So the fact that he thinks that he's genuinely in love with this guy is just really weird to me, because they just don't have chemistry from what we see. Like, he calls him baby, asks if he wants anything else, and then he kind of walks away. They never kiss once. Sure. I just realized his name. I didn't even look. Jack Quaid. That's his name. Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid, calls him sweetheart once. But it's just whatever. He makes her kill herself, and apparently, androids can't be killed like that, by shooting themselves in the head. They're obviously not human. Like, the parts are in their, like, stomach area. So now he's got to kill the two people that came to, find the footage that's in her, and he's got to destroy the footage. And one of them is played by Matt McCarthy, who is a YouTuber. I've recently been seeing YouTubers appear in movies. One's about 1.5 years ago, maybe more, but I still feel like it feels recent. I talked about Jurassic World, how there was a guy in there who's like a YouTube skit guy. Then there was this werewolf movie called The Wolf on Snow Hell, I think, that had a YouTuber in it that I used to watch a lot. He's got a small role in it. And Matt McCarthy has a small role right here. He plays Commissioner Gordon in these Batman skits on YouTube that I used to watch. He gets killed here. He's with this other guy, Teddy, who surprisingly survives. And he fixed Iris off screen so she can lie. She can do all this stuff. And she ends up fighting Josh and killing Josh. It's a pretty good death. And she gets like a line about having her first lie. And yeah, the movie's over. I guess she takes all of Josh's money, which is pretty cool. He was gonna use her to get this money, and now she gets it all to herself, which is really cool. I want to know what their plan was. I really want to know. They don't fully explain it. They say that they had modded her to kill Sergey. But how were they going to get her to do it? Was he just going to tell her to kill Sergey? I get that he made it so she could be aggressive. But that doesn't mean that she will be aggressive. She thinks she's human. She obviously knows murder is wrong. Why would she kill Sergey? Yeah, she ends up killing Sergey in self-defense. But it's because, Kat does send Sergey out there. So maybe that was their plan all along, to have Sergey try and rape her? It's a very weird plan. I don't get it. Overall, it was a decently fun movie. Some stuff is a bit confusing. I do think this movie probably has a lot to do with sexism and how men just see women as objects, since Iris is a woman who is technically like an object, an android property, and how a lot of men try and treat women like property. And I think it's a decent movie. I enjoyed it. But like all movies, it does have its flaws.